Good evening, everyone. Yeah, thanks, Gemma. Unfortunately, Matt was due to come today, but he's had some issues and unable to attend. So I'm going to talk through this little section and just share some of the bits that we do at Active Sussex. And I think we're lucky in our team and our organisation, the time that we commit to prioritising equality, diversity, and inclusion within an organisation. But I think some really good points that came out, and I think one that really stuck with me earlier in Hannah's presentation was men are a barrier, and a third of women find them as gatekeepers. Well, my first bit of advice would be don't be a barrier. Ultimately, we can, whatever your role is, whether that's a volunteer, whether it's a decision maker at the very top, what can you do to be more of a male ally? What development and support can you offer the women in your life, whether that's professionally or personally, and how can you go about supporting them and helping them achieve their goals? I think firstly, one thing that men can do better is educate yourself. Put yourself in the shoes of those that you're trying to engage. So learn about today, but all EDI issues. What are the challenges and the barriers that women face? So attending calls like this and events like this is fantastic. Going out and recognizing your own biases, perhaps looking at further education and what courses can upskill you in those things. I think probably the biggest thing, listen to women. And again, I feel a little bit preachy sitting here as a male with a call full of women, but go listen, sit in, understand those barriers, and then actually don't just sit there and listen, go and do something about it. What can you do to go and support that woman that you're listening to, whether that's in your personal life or your professional life. It's really important that you take that time to understand those barriers, so making time for it within your role. And a phrase I like to use is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I use this example often, but we ran a menopause webinar. Now, I was the only male on that call, and I'm not going to lie, I was slightly uncomfortable in a breakout room with a lot of women talking about the menopause that I didn't know too much about. However, I had to do it, and I actually came out of that and I felt not just more knowledgeable on the subject, but actually felt better equipped to support, the women in my life, my partner, my mum, my sister. And again, I speak as someone who is lucky and has had a lot of inspirational women in my life, and a strong feminist mother that has certainly played her part in the person that I am today. And then a couple of other points I think that I just really want to highlight is being that advocate for equal opportunities and the culture that you create, prioritizing that time, resource, money. Right, if I'm in an organization, could we set up an EDI steering group to look at gender equality? Could I look at mentoring? If I'm a CEO, can I try and support women that are lower down in the organization to get up to that level? Could I offer them some mentoring? Could I connect them with other inspirational females that I know and make those introductions? Another thing I think is really important for male allies to do is amplify women's voices. We've done it time and time again with this network. It's so important to share that lived experience, and it's come up with several of the presentations today in terms of that person like me approach. And that is so powerful for so many people to see actually that someone like me, that visibility, I can achieve that too and give them that aspiration. And I think something that we could all do is get behind those campaigns. Get behind the This Girl campaign. We've got Project 500 that we're going to talk about. We've got Teresa and Jess on the call, and Teresa's going to talk about that later. But looking at works that are there to develop and support women and really getting behind them, not just seeing it as a tick box exercise and, oh yeah, we're a supporter of this campaign. What are you actually doing to support that campaign and really support the women within your organisation and beyond? And I think then finally, the last bit from me, and Sadie mentioned it there, calling it out, calling out all discrimination, of course, but particularly gender discrimination. If you're hearing sexism within the workplace, absolutely, there is no place for that. Call it out for what it is, unacceptable and not a place in today's society. But also look at that, again, going back to that culture, you know, create that culture that's welcoming and supportive, and that encourages, you know, more women to take up those leadership roles where possible, so they feel that they're actually confident to take that step, and if they want to, that they'll be supported effectively to do so. So a couple of bits from me. I've sort of whistled through that, but yes, I'm happy to talk through some of the other bits in the breakout rooms later. But those are just some of the bits from my perspective in terms of more male allies and allyship.